They are watching you. Not with cameras, not with microphones, but with the silent, invisible precision of a predator studying prey. Every word you spill, every thought you share, every weakness you reveal, it's all being cataloged, stored, and quietly used against you. This isn't paranoia. It's strategy. Machiavelli once wrote in The Prince, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." But here's the darker truth no one tells you. The people around you are constantly estimating you. Not to admire you, not to celebrate you, but to measure your value and your vulnerability. We live in an era where oversharing is normal, where authenticity is sold as virtue, and where being open is celebrated as the highest form of human connection. But Machiavelli's world, and let's be honest, our world hasn't changed as much as you think, tells a different story. Openness is dangerous. Why? Because people are not passive receivers of your truth. They are interpreters, and interpreters are selective. They remember what benefits them. They discard the rest. Machiavelli's warning is timeless. Power is maintained not by broadcasting your entire soul to the crowd, but by revealing only what serves your position. To be entirely open is to hand your enemies a loaded weapon and then turn your back. We've been fed this modern myth. Be transparent, and people will respect you. No. In reality, the more you open up, the more data you give others to predict you, manipulate you, and quietly dismantle you from the inside. Look at the great leaders of history, from the Caesars of Rome to the corporate titans of today. The ones who survived did not speak their every thought. They were guarded, deliberate, strategic. Their lives were not open books, they were locked safes. And they decided who, if anyone, got the key. Here's what I want you to understand today. If you want control in your life, if you want to command respect, if you want to be untouchable, you must stop broadcasting your mind like a public radio station. Your life must become a fortress. Your emotions must become a discipline. And your words must be weapons, never waste. Because once they can read you, they can write your ending. Comment this now. I don't chase respect, I command it. If this is already hitting you, subscribe right now, because this is just the surface. And what's coming next will make you rethink every conversation you've had this year. Machiavelli understood something most people will never grasp. The less people know about you, the more they think about you. And the more they think about you, the more power you hold over their imagination. He didn't put it in these exact words, but here's the distilled essence. The unknown is more influential than the known. Why? Because certainty breeds comfort, and comfort kills intrigue. When someone knows exactly what you'll say, how you'll react, and what you stand for, they stop investing mental energy into you. You become predictable, and predictable people are easy to control. Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." But here's the twist. While you may accept yourself completely, you are under no obligation to display that acceptance to the world. The more you reveal, the more others believe they've figured you out. And once they believe that, they stop respecting you as a force to be reckoned with, because forces that are fully understood can be neutralized. In politics, in business, in relationships, the moment they can predict you, they can preempt you. So here's the tactic. Give people fragments of the truth. Enough to keep them engaged. Enough to keep them guessing. But never enough for them to draw a complete map of your mind. Think about how you post online. Most people throw their entire personality into the public feed, their highs, their lows, their fears, their every thought. That's not self-expression. That's self-exposure. Instead, you need to master what I call the curtain effect. Keep a curtain over 80% of your life. Only pull it back to reveal what you choose, when you choose, and in a way that advances your position. Everything else stays in shadow, because in the shadows, your image becomes larger than life. People project their own ideas, fears, and curiosities onto you. And here's the Machiavellian beauty of it. What they imagine will always be more powerful than what you really are. Julius Caesar wasn't feared only because of his victories. He was feared because no one could predict what he would do next. His allies never knew his full plans. His enemies could never read his intentions. This aura of controlled mystery made him dangerous even when he wasn't actively making moves. That's the standard. You want people to look at you and think, I can't quite read him. And that's exactly why I can't underestimate him. Comment this now. My silence is my power. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because once you master what's coming next, you'll never be blindsided in a conversation again. Most people listen to reply. Machiavelli would call them fools. Because when you're thinking about what you're going to say next, you miss the gold in what the other person is revealing right now. If you want to be unreadable, you must also become the one who can read others without them even realizing it's happening. That starts with shutting your mouth, and not just in silence, but in presence. The greatest advantage you can have in any interaction is this. Make them feel heard while you quietly map their entire psychology. Listen for patterns. Listen for contradictions. Listen for what they're not saying. People will give away their fears, their insecurities, their intentions, all without realizing it if you give them the space to talk. The less you reveal about yourself, the more they fill the air, and the more information they hand over for free. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But there's a deeper layer here. If it is not useful, do not speak it. Every unnecessary word you give them is a piece of leverage you just threw away. This is the paradox. The quieter you are, the louder they become. And the louder they become, the easier they are to predict. When you let someone speak uninterrupted, you're doing more than just being polite. You're building a mental blueprint of how they think, what drives them, and where they're vulnerable. And here's the thing, people confuse talking with control. They think if they're speaking the most, they're dominating the interaction. In reality, they're revealing themselves while you stay hidden. The goal is to train yourself to be comfortable in the tension of silence. Most people can't stand it. They rush to fill it, spilling details they never intended to share. Let them. Every word is currency, and you're the bank. Once you master this, you stop being the open book. You become the locked vault, and every interaction becomes an exchange where you're collecting more than you're giving. Comment this now. I read, I do not reveal. What comes next will make you dangerous in a way most people never prepare for. We're going into the third principle, how to disguise your ambition so no one sees you coming until it's too late. If you thought the first two principles were powerful, what's next will make you untouchable. Subscribe now so you don't miss it. Ambition is a dangerous thing when it's visible. The moment people sense you're climbing, they start building walls, setting traps, and whispering in the ears of those who can block your path. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. In The Prince, he warned that those in power fear nothing more than the rise of another. So the key is simple: move without announcing you're moving. Operate as if you are content, even when you're plotting 10 steps ahead. Show satisfaction on the surface, even when you're hungry beneath it. A wolf doesn't tell the deer it's hunting. It walks slowly, blending into the scenery, until it's close enough to strike without warning. Your ambition must be camouflaged in the same way. This doesn't mean you hide your capabilities. Capabilities must be seen to be respected. But your direction, your endgame, that stays yours alone. If people don't know where you're going, they can't block the road. History is littered with those who revealed too much too soon. Rivals gathered, allies turned suspicious, and the climb ended before it began. The few who truly made it to the top did so under a mask of normalcy, only revealing their dominance when it was too late for anyone to stop them. This is why you must master what I call the shadow path. Work in plain sight, but keep your destination hidden. Achieve small wins that look harmless. Collect allies without explaining the full picture. And let the real plan exist only in your head. Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "The wise have always said the same things, and fools, who are the majority, have always done just the opposite." The fool shouts his plans into the wind, hoping the world will applaud. The wise man smiles, nods, and lets the applause come only after the victory is undeniable. When you disguise your ambition, you eliminate resistance. You make others underestimate you, and being underestimated is the greatest advantage in strategy. Because when they finally see your full strength, it's already too late to respond. Comment this now. I move in shadows until it's time to strike. Next, we're going into the principle that turns all of this into raw, unshakable control, how to make others dependent on you without them realizing it. This is where Machiavelli's darkest advice becomes your strongest weapon. Stay here. What's coming next changes everything. Dependency is the purest form of control. You can threaten someone, outsmart them, even overpower them, but if they don't need you, they can walk away. The moment they believe they cannot function without you, you own the board. Machiavelli understood this in brutal clarity. He wrote that a ruler must arrange affairs so that at every turn his subjects need him. Not love him, not admire him, need him, because need binds stronger than affection ever could. The mistake most people make is they try to be liked. Being liked is fragile. It changes with mood, gossip, or one mistake. But when someone's survival, success, or peace of mind depends on you, you become untouchable in their world. How do you create this? Not by forcing dependency that breeds rebellion. You build it by positioning yourself as the solution to problems they can't solve without you. You become the one with access, the one with knowledge, the one with connections they can't get anywhere else. And you provide just enough to keep them coming back, but never enough to make you replaceable. This is why the unreadable person always has the upper hand. If people can't fully understand you, they can't replace you. And if you're the only one who can provide something vital, you become a pillar in their life they can't imagine removing. Carl Jung said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. If you position yourself as the bridge between where they are and where they want to be and make that bridge impossible to cross without you, they will never try to face life without you." The modern world hides this truth behind networking and relationships, but the game is older than language. Even in ancient courts, advisors survived not because they were the smartest, but because the king's rule felt weaker without them. That is the position you must secure in your own life. And here's the Machiavellian twist. The less you speak, the more you observe, the more strategic you are in revealing your intentions, the easier it is to place yourself in that position. People cannot defend against a move they don't see coming, and they cannot remove a person they believe they need. Comment this now. I make myself essential. What's coming next will close the circle, the final principle that makes you truly unreadable and untouchable, how to erase emotional tells so no one can manipulate you, no matter how hard they try. This is the point where you become the fortress. Emotions are the cracks in the fortress. No matter how guarded you are, no matter how strategic your moves, if someone can provoke you, they can control you. All it takes is one reaction, a twitch in the voice, a flash in the eyes, a shift in posture, and they'll know exactly where to press next time. Machiavelli warned that appearances must be managed, and part of that management is emotional discipline. Not suppression. Suppression leaks. Discipline. The difference: suppression is holding back an explosion. Discipline is removing the fuse entirely. This means you must train yourself to treat every situation like a chess game. A piece is lost? Fine. Adjust the board. An opponent taunts? Fine. Stick to the plan. A betrayal hits? Fine. Store the memory, not the outburst. Marcus Aurelius put it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If your mind belongs to you, no one else can borrow it. But if your emotions leak, strangers are driving your decisions. Here's the truth most won't accept. Your greatest vulnerability is not your secrets, it's your reactions. Secrets can be kept. Reactions are immediate, and every reaction you give is a broadcast signal saying, "Here is where I'm weak." You must master the blank field, the ability to give nothing in your tone, expression, or body language that can be used against you. This doesn't mean you become cold or robotic. It means you learn to show warmth when you choose, intensity when you choose, and silence when you choose, all without being forced into any of them. Think of a seasoned poker player. Their face doesn't betray the hand they're holding. Every smile is deliberate. Every pause is calculated. They win not just with the cards, but by controlling the flow of the table. That's how you must move in life. When your emotions are under your command, you're no longer just unreadable, you're unshakable. People can't manipulate what they can't provoke. And when they can't provoke you, they stop trying. Comment this now. I control my reactions. I control the game. And this is the moment where everything connects: the guarded words, the listening advantage, the shadowed ambition, the cultivated dependency, the emotional discipline. Put them together, and you are no longer walking through life as an open book. You are a fortress, a strategist, a presence that cannot be read, predicted, or quietly destroyed. If this hit you, if you felt these truths in your chest, subscribe right now and lock in. What's coming next will make these principles even sharper, because next time we go deeper into Machiavelli's most dangerous lesson: how to make others believe they're winning, while you're the one pulling every string.